Good afternoon, it's Joyful Hermit, and I think I'm coming to a conclusion of what I want to say. Um, and I'm not sure if I'll leave these videos on or take them off, but I was thinking back of when I became Catholic and I had asked His Real Presence if this is truly what He wanted for me, because there was great resistance from my parents and sisters and other people. Many Protestants did not want this for me and were very concerned because of bias, anti-Catholic bias, and not comprehending. So I had prayed about it maybe 10 days, 12 days prior to when the priest did finally select a date for my confirmation in 1995. And I received an answer in a dream and also in a locution from Jesus. I woke up after this dream and heard his voice. I believe this is the answer. An arched hallway extends beyond human sight, stone and wood reaching upward in Gothic point. Double doors stand open, doorway upon doorway, at close intervals, down this eternal passage. To the left are windows, their tiny triangular panes filter soft light from an out-of-doors which bespeaks of lush, green foliage, casting misty fertility on this peaceful corridor. To the right are solid walls of depth and purpose, an occasional closed door which may be opened, as necessity or desire may request study and respite along the way. I stand in the first open portal, my eyes gazing upon this my soul's pathway, and seeing all opened before me, nothing closed. Seemingly I am free at last to take this step through this first doorway of doorways, into that which God has prepared for me, into His holy church and His sacred heart. Later, as if this sight were not enough, I ask, may I step now into this my heart's longing, tread in awe upon silent stones, worn smooth and tear-damped by reverent souls. Pleased laughter resounds like pealing bells, a holy antiphon to my gingerly quest. My darling child, and more laughter. There is nothing holding you back. Of course you may enter, for it pleases me. And I consider now, I shared some of the many obstacles. There were many more, worse, I suppose, and no sense in going into more details. You get the idea of the ongoing trials of being someone different within a group, it can be any group, and being misunderstood. And this is what it is, though, to be conformed more and more to Christ. He was different. He was misunderstood. So the unlike object must become more and more like the object to which it wants to become like. And that requires much trial and much molding and going through many portals in a long hallway and opening many doors and having some doors that close, and then it's time to move on to yet another doorway and to enter into that entry and into that room and that hallway. On and on it goes. And this is not going to cease with our earthly deaths. This will continue on into the mystical realm, and for some, a mystical realm becomes now in varying degrees of intensity, just depending on what His real presence chooses and what the soul is open to and what the soul's destiny is while on this earth. So with that, I want to mention that also nearly 4 years ago, it will be this coming August, after I was told to swim on beyond the nets, out into the deep. Another night my angel appeared to me and said that he was going to be showing me the stairway to heaven. And he has shown me that stairway. I have learned, and shortly after that, within 2 weeks, I started having the beginning of these ecstasies, which increased in intensity. And of course now, they will not be, at least not at Mass, because I am not to return to Mass. But Mass is here. All during that 3.5 years of the ecstasies, I was absorbed into the Mass, and the Mass was absorbed with me. And even though my eyes were never open, other than 3 days, approximately 3 days, in which the Lord exchanged extreme physical temporal suffering, and then I asked him to choose what he wished for me to suffer during Mass or the other, the state, and he chose the state immediately. A deep and profound ecstasy that time. But that has all ceased because of my not being there. But anytime I wished to be at Mass, and what I was going to say is, even though my eyes were closed, I could always see with inner sight. It was strange, it was beautiful. So I always saw the altar, I always saw the Mass in a way that our human eyes don't see, that our temporal eyes do not see. So even now, when I think about Mass, I am there, and I see it from deep within, and I'm absorbed in the Mass, and the Mass is absorbed in me, takes me into it. So, anyway, I feel as if I have come to a portal, and that I am moving through it. I often repeat, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they are doing, to any of those who have misunderstood me and done things that sort of defy reason, or what most of us might do. And in fact, though, I ask, Father, forgive me for all that which I have not known what I am doing. Perhaps even being open and expressing myself in a public yet anonymous way has hurt some or discouraged others, or more likely caused others to judge me, which of course is not good. It's an occasion of sin to cause other people to judge. But so I will continue to pray whether I leave these up or not. There is much, much more in my journey that I could share, but I feel that I shared what is necessary for me to be released from one level, from one rung of the ladder, and to be able to step up onto the next rung, or the stairway to heaven, however we want to term it or visualize. God bless His real presence in you. Thank you.